Back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Why Your Body Does Some of These Weird Things by the Poopy Show. Never heard of this. You just showed up on my recommendation. I just felt like watching it. Yeah.
The human body. Something I often imagine as a cute little mech suit controlled by this little guy. Because everything apart from this little guy is either a shield, a weapon, or simply cosmetic at this point. But here's the thing. If your body is a mech suit, 75% of the controls are not accessible to you. Yes, we're in charge of stuff like voluntary movement and sensory perception, but a lot of the body's functions are autonomously carried out by self-regulating
you don't have to think about breathing.
Mechanical and physiological systems. In other words,
you don't have to think about transferring blood from this area to this area or whatever, you know.
Body does most things for you, and some of those things are pretty weird. Today we talk about 5 of those weird things and why they happen. Starting with number 1. You know when you're falling asleep peacefully, but then this happens? The sensation is pretty unsettling. It kind of feels like you're falling into a dark abyss at a pretty aggressive 200 miles per hour. And here's why that happens. Your brain actually thinks you're falling. As you're going to sleep, all your muscles begin to relax, and the brain sometimes misinterprets this as you dying. So just in case you are
This has happened to me like recently a little bit too much. I don't know what's going on. This has happened to me so much recently.
And aren't aware of the fact, it gives your whole body a little kick known as a hypnic jerk. And it's
it hurts after. Like, that's how hurt, you know. You tense up so hard.
More often if you're sleep deprived or under a lot of stress, but
maybe that's why it's
a misunderstanding on behalf of your brain. Another sleepy time body function, which is number 2 on the list, is yawning. When we're tired, we tend to take less big breaths, which causes a buildup of carbon dioxide in the body.
I'm thinking about it, so now I feel like I have to do it.
Respiration, which gets us more oxygen and expels carbon dioxide. But what's more interesting about yawning is that for some reason, we are 6 times more likely to yawn when we see someone else yawning. And there are some theories about this. The biggest one being that this is a case of social mirroring. Or when you see someone doing something like laughing, scratching themselves, or yawning, you are reminded that those things are beneficial and
I'm such an NPC, I don't know.
Animals mimic useful behaviors, and a contagious yawn is just a reminder for the group to take a deeper breath. And number 3, crying, also somewhat fits into this category. Crying is usually a way for your eyes to wash off harmful irritants like smoke, acids, and wettings. The first 2 will be handled by reflex tears, and they are different to emotional tears, which contain additional proteins and hormones. There are 2 main theories why we cry emotional tears. One is that the whole act of crying those tears out helps you release stress. The other theory suggests that you're a stupid baby and you're doing it for attention.
This is one of those topics that you kind of like got on the back of your mind, and you're like, I gotta look that up. And every time you kind of look it up, you don't really get any answers, so you just forget about it. Never really knew why
empathy, and when you get support from others, you actually feel better because pack mentality.
Maybe it's babies. It's like you gotta cry as a baby, so that you get attention of your parents and have more of a chance to survive, and it just stays with you as you are.
I like to cry because it tires me out.
And the things you associate with crying are bad things. So that's why when bad things happen, you cry. You know, you cry. Normally you cry because you're hungry, but now since you're hungry, you're starting to cry. You know, but now it's like in another level or something.
Too tired to be upset. So crying,
Rambling.
Pretty good. 8 out of 10. Just don't cry so much that you start pruning up. I'm really reaching with the segues. Number 4 is your fingers pruning up. Have you ever been fed this lie by a grown-up? Like saying, okay, you have to stop having fun in the water now. And they give your skin pruning up as the reason why you need to get out. Well, you might be entitled to compensation because your fingers and toes turning wrinkly holds no concern to your well-being at all. See, you'd need to be submerged in water for more than 12 hours for there to be any harm. Pruning happens in the first 15 minutes, and the whole idea behind it is your body is adapting to better grip onto things underwater, where there's less friction. And it's as close as I'm getting to my low X-Men moment. To finish off the list, number 5 is shivering. The real reason your mom wanted to get your ass out of that water
shiver, and my teeth, they clatter too. I don't know.
She didn't want you to get cold. But the human body actually has a fantastic solution for being cold. Check it out, Mom. Shivering is your muscles rapidly contracting and relaxing, which warms you up kind of the same way exercise does, but you don't have to do anything.
It's like when you start shaking your hand when you're cold and it kind of warms it up for you.
Your body does all the work for you and expends energy all on its own. And I'm comparing it to exercise for a reason. Shivering produces a hormone called irisin, which
It's because like it doesn't the movement create heat?
Both things. For example, it promotes fat loss because you're using fat to expend the energy needed to keep you warm. But it also improves glucose tolerance, which helps prevent diabetes. However, even though 15 minutes of shivering is the equivalent of 1 hour on a bicycle, it's not an actual permanent weight loss exercise. Because if you're constantly exposing yourself to cold temperatures, your body will just adapt to them by building up more brown fat. Also, I think shivering is mad uncomfortable. I hate this country. Well, that was my list. It's pretty awesome how we have all these apps running in the background of our system, like
There's so many too.
Breathing. Great. Now I'm aware of my own breathing. It's actually kind of sad how I can't be trusted breathing on my own. Oh wait, I'm a cartoon character. I don't need to breathe. Subscribe to my show.
Really funny. Really fun. Alright, that was a fun video. Make sure I'll check them out. Thank you for watching. Bye.